Clapperboard Act 1. The Prince Who Was Never Meant to Be King. Year 1491. Greenwich Palace. Henry is born on a warm summer day, but not as the primary heir. He is the second son. His older brother, Arthur, is groomed for kingship, while young Henry is destined for the church. He reads books, learns Latin, and is kept far away from politics. Until one night in 1502, when shocking news arrives, Arthur, who had just married the Spanish princess Catherine of Aragon, suddenly dies. Now 10-year-old Henry is the crown prince of England. His father, Henry VII, guards him like a precious gem but never allows him to taste real power. Young Henry grows up in a golden cage, thirsty to prove himself. Crown Act 2. The young king everyone loved. Year 1509. Henry is 17 and takes the crown after his father's death. England breathes a sigh of relief. He is tall, handsome, golden-haired, a skilled swimmer and archer. The people adore him. He immediately marries Catherine of Aragon, his brother's widow, to maintain the alliance with Spain. Catherine is 6 years older but intelligent and loyal. Young Henry is genuinely in love with her at first. But there's one massive problem. Catherine gets pregnant many times, but almost all the babies are either miscarried or die in infancy. Only one daughter survives, Mary, later Bloody Mary. Henry obsessively wants a son to pass his crown to. He says, "A king without a son is like a king without a crown." Broken Heart Act 3, an obsession that shook the church. Year 1525. Henry is 34 and still has no son. His eyes fall on Anne Boleyn, a witty, smart, and ambitious lady raised at the French court. Unlike other women, Anne tells him, "I will not sleep with you until I am queen." Henry falls for this challenge completely. He asks the Pope in Rome for an annulment from Catherine, but the Pope refuses because Catherine is the aunt of the Holy Roman Emperor, who is threatening Rome. This is the turning point of history. Instead of backing down, Henry decides to break away from the Catholic Church entirely. He declares himself supreme head of the Church of England and executes any monk or bishop who opposes him. Thomas More, one of his most loyal friends, is beheaded for refusing to accept this. Now Henry is free. He marries Anne Boleyn in 1533, while poor Catherine is cast out of the palace and dies in isolation years later. Act 4. Anne Boleyn and a terrifying fall. Anne Boleyn finally gets pregnant. Henry is sure it will be a son. But a daughter is born, Elizabeth, later Elizabeth the Great. Henry is furious. Anne gets pregnant twice more but miscarries. Henry, now tired of her, orders his minister Thomas Cromwell, "Find me a charge to get rid of her." Cromwell fabricates false accusations of adultery with 5 men, including her own brother, and even treason against the king. A sham trial is held, and Anne Boleyn is beheaded at the Tower of London on May 19, 1536. Henry takes his new fiancée out to celebrate the very day before the execution. Act 5. A moment of heaven, then hell. Just 11 days after Anne's execution, Henry marries Jane Seymour. Jane is quiet and obedient, the opposite of Anne. Finally, after years of waiting, in 1537, a son, Edward, is born. The king throws street parties across England. But this joy is short-lived. 12 days later, Jane dies from postpartum fever. Henry, who rarely wept, cries publicly for the first and last time, saying, "Fate is at war with me." He buries her beside his own future tomb. Performing Arts Act 6. For more wives in the blink of an eye. Henry is heartbroken, but determined to find a mother for his son. Anne of Cleves, 1540, a political marriage to the German king's sister-in-law. But when Henry sees her in person, he screams, "They deceived me. She looks like a mare." He annuls the marriage after a few months, but kindly gives her the title, beloved sister. Catherine Howard, 1540, only 18 and very beautiful. Henry, now 49, falls for her like a teenager. But soon, rumors spread about her secret affairs with young courtiers. Henry, who fears betrayal above all, orders her arrest and beheading. Catherine is just 19 when she dies. Catherine Parr, 1543, wife number 6 and the last. She is a mature, wise, and kind woman who genuinely cares for Henry's children. Once, Henry almost orders her arrest too, but Catherine humbly saves herself and survives. She stays by his side until his final day and outlives him. Theories and hidden scandals. The will conspiracy. Some historians claim that courtiers forged Henry's will on his deathbed to seize power. Others, like Susanna Lipscomb, argue, no, Henry wrote it himself and controlled everything until his very last breath. The illegitimate son. Henry had an illegitimate son named Henry Fitzroy from his mistress. He was raised as a potential successor, but died at just 17. There's a theory that if Fitzroy had lived, maybe none of the 6 wives would have been executed. The mysterious illness. In his final years, Henry became massively obese. His waist measured 54 inches and had a chronic leg ulcer. Modern doctors speculate he suffered from type 2 diabetes and gout, and possibly had frontal lobe brain damage that caused his extreme paranoia and mood swings in the last decade. A tragic end. January 28, 1547. Henry dies at Whitehall Palace at age 55, ravaged by obesity and disease. In his final days, no one dared tell him how sick he truly was. Even his physicians were too afraid to speak the truth. He is buried at St. George's Chapel in Windsor, next to Jane Seymour, the only wife who gave him a son and then died. Clapperboard epilogue, a legacy of blood and fire. After Henry's death, his son Edward becomes king at age 9, but dies at just 15. Then Mary, Catherine's daughter, takes the throne and burns Protestants at the stake. Then Elizabeth, Anne Boleyn's daughter, becomes queen and transforms into one of history's greatest monarchs, never marrying, as if to prove to her father that a woman alone can rule just as well. Henry VIII remains in history as a power-drunk tyrant, a husband killer, and a reformer king. His life is like a Greek tragedy, a man who had everything but lost it all, just to get a son. Who should I make a video about in the next post? Don't forget to subscribe. Kiss and goodbye.